Donald Trump rightly received a lot of criticism for referring to migrants as animals. It is literally dehumanizing language, and that's what it's meant to do. The interesting thing is that someone else is receiving criticism for him saying that, and it's Newsmax. So Newsmax is a right-wing news outlet. It's a news channel like other ones. They posted this article, so you can see it here over on Twitter. It's an embedded article, and the caption for it says, Donald Trump called immigrants in the United States illegally animals and not human in a speech in Michigan, resorting to the degrading rhetoric he has employed time and again on the campaign trail. Now, that is, at the same time, 100% accurate. It was degrading. It was, that's what it's designed to, like, we don't want to respect these people as humans. We think of them as animals. That's degrading. That's literally what it does. They were accurate there, and they're going to regret that. Not just that, but also that in the article they linked, there's some fact checking of claims that Donald Trump made in the speech. So they fact check about the rates of crime between native-born citizens versus migrants. We've done that a million times. No right-winger will ever accept that or care, but they did it in the article. That's great. Also, it said that Trump frequently claims without evidence that migrants have caused a spike in violent crime in US citizens. That, of course, is also not true. There is not actually a crime wave being experienced in large American cities or nationally. There's anecdotal, horrendous crimes that are being focused on by the media, so people have the perception that crime is going up. It's simply not true. They fact check that. Also, the idea that the nations themselves of Latin and South America are sending people is an insane conspiracy theory. That's not how it works. So the backlash against this acknowledgement of fact was vicious, with tweets like, I knew Newsmax couldn't be trusted, spreading the same lies as CNN, losers. Or whose side are you on? Biden's, and everyone block Newsmax. And so this was an interesting moment, Sharon. Newsmax has been garbage the entire time, but finally they had an opportunity to stand with the facts. They were right in the claims that they tweeted out against people who demanded that they ignore the facts, ignore the evidence of their eyes, and instead just give in to this need for ideological purity. They had finally earned the right to call themselves a news outlet. And of course they didn't do that. They backed off 100%. They heavily edited the article, they removed some of the fact checking or whatever. They changed the references in the caption and all that. They backed off. And the thing was, it wasn't even their article originally. They were just spreading something that the Newswire had put out. That's probably why the caption was critical. I don't even think they wrote it in the first place. But the second there was any pushback, they caved. What do you think about that? You've been in news for a long time. I'm sure you've been criticized for things that you've said, but that is an embarrassing way to respond to it.
It is embarrassing. Why not just look the other way? They did it because the article didn't fit the business model. And I assure you, the underpaid staffer who linked it, posted, whatever, is not there anymore, and probably had to sign an NDA on the way out, making just barely minimum wage. I assure you, there's an NDA somewhere that they were forced to sign and probably being blacklisted. Okay, that's just what they do. Just another day as we follow the Fox model.
It's amazing, like the fact checks were true. They just were. I wish we had, I'm not great at rhetoric, obviously. I wish we had like a thing, like a saying for why when there's a gap between the facts and your feelings, one of them shouldn't care about the other one. But I don't know what it is. But anyway, we should work on something like that. And so, yeah, they ignored the truth to get clout, to have an audience. And that is unfortunately something that a lot of people and outlets do. Newsmax is not above that. By the way, I wanted to also mention just one sort of crossover of this. Fox News, which ran multiple days of like, Biden is trying to cancel Christianity with Trans Visibility Day. I mean, I know it's always been this day, but let's pretend he did it himself. So they had previously, a couple of years ago, acknowledged and celebrated in a tweet Trans Day of Visibility. Fox News had done that. I was actually shocked to see that, but it was true, they did it. Karine Jean-Pierre, the press secretary, she mentioned this in her remarks in the White House. She was talking at length about this BS story and then mentioned that Fox had acknowledged it. Fox ran that video and edited out the portion where she identified that Fox had identified trans day of visibility, which is just like, it should be illegal, I guess. I mean, that's crazy. Like that is so cowardly. So it's not like Bill O'Reilly wrote the tweet. It's not like Jesse Waters wrote it. It was probably, again, just like an intern or something like that. But who cares? We can't be affiliated with it in any way. So edit it out. And it's insane that they're allowed to get away with that. And I'm sure nobody that watched that will find out. There's been great mashups of the stuff that they cut out on Twitter, but unfortunately nobody's gonna see it. That's just the way it works, Sharon.
Fear rules the day. They successfully scared millions and millions of Americans about some boogeyman out there, okay? I sleep with my doors unlocked some nights, I'm fine, okay?
Yeah.
I'm fine. I just don't want someone who's rabid right-wing nonsense coming through it. It's just what it is, and now they're scared of their own shadows, okay? We've got to take this down, we've got to edit this, otherwise we may cease to exist.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.